Now that Zenless Zone Zero has started putting out rerun banners, it's really important for players to think about which older characters that they might have missed out on could be good for them to pick up on a rerun. So today, we're going to go over my top 5 picks for character reruns that you should be considering pulling for. And I do want to preface it by saying this is just my opinion based on my experiences and knowledge of the game, so if you have any other characters you think are really good reruns for people, definitely let me know in the comments down below. So at number 5, we have Caesar. Now, Caesar is a very comfortable character to run, especially when we had the first Battle Tower come out. A lot of people were having a lot of success using Caesar because of her ability to parry enemy attacks. She also does have a very good shield, as well as some really strong support as well. She can give up to 900 attack to the entire team with a basically permanent uptime since it does revolve around her shield, and also through her additional ability, she can make enemies take 25% additional damage, which is pretty solid, especially for a character who's supposed to just be, a defensive character. She does have some very nice support. And not only that, Caesar is very versatile when it comes to the teams she could be ran on, because her additional ability to get that extra damage taken for enemies can be activated by just running any character who can do a defensive assist, which is pretty much any character that uses a melee weapon, which at the moment is most of the game. So her versatility and her support makes her a very strong option, and I think because of the fact that I think defensive characters will probably end up being a bit rare in comparison to DPSs and supports and stunners and whatnot, I do think that Caesar's going to be very good for a long time, and she is going to fill in that niche of if there's content that gives you more time to be able to complete it in compared to stuff like Shiyu Defense or Deadly Assault, like stuff like the Battle Tower. If we have more content like that coming out, Caesar will be very good for players who can just, take their time to look for openings, as opposed to trying to beat things super fast. So she is definitely going to be a very good option for people overall. Then at number 4, I have Burnice. Burnice is a really good sub DPS for any anomaly character, and this is because, unlike a lot of the anomaly characters that do want to be on field a good amount of the time, Burnice actually does not need to be on field. Once she uses her EX special or her ultimate to activate her afterburn state on enemies, they're going to consistently be taking damage from her and also building up the fire anomaly meter as well. So since that can happen while she's off field, you're going to be able to just swap into your other anomaly character with her to be able to not only get their anomaly procs but also get disorder procs as well, given that you time the burns from Burnice with your main anomaly DPS. Now, it is important to note that she is a resource management character because none of her off-field stuff works the way it should if you don't have her nitro fuel cocktail state active, which really, as long as you are occasionally weaving into her to use her skill and also her ultimate, then you're not going to be too bad off for that. And Burnice is actually pretty easy to play compared to other characters because of how little time you need to have her on field, which is very good. And I think that as long as Zenless Zone Zero keeps bringing out more anomaly characters, I think Burnice is going to continue to be relevant because she enables so many different anomaly setups and is just a very good all-around character for that. Next at number 3, I have Yanagi. Now, Yanagi is another amazing anomaly character. She can be ran pretty much as a main or sub DPS depending on the setup you're in. And her biggest piece of value, as opposed to Burnice who needs very little on-field time and can just do a lot of anomaly buildup, Yanagi's biggest piece of value is her disorder triggers, because through her EX special, she can trigger disorders on demand, meaning that you don't need to time 2 different anomaly procs to do disorder with her, but you still also have that option as well. And this is really going to help teams that benefit from disorder if there are characters that come out in the future, because I think the only one right now, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the only one right now that is really important that benefits from disorder specifically is Miyabi, which is why Yanagi, I do also kind of say DPS / sub DPS, because in that comp she would be the sub DPS kind of character. But overall, for any team that really benefits off of disorders, Yanagi is going to be a really strong character for them. She can be a bit harder to play to time her different states and benefit from all of her buffs that she gets from them, but I think that she's going to stay very good for a long time, and for me personally, it's probably the rerun I'm looking the most forward to because I do have the other characters on the list here. So now we have our top 2 here, which I'm mentioning them kind of together because I feel like they're a bit interchangeable depending on what your account is looking at, and I think that their positioning could change based on the strength of future characters. So at number 2, we have Astra Yao. Astra Yao is by far the best support character in the game. Through her core passive, she can give up to a 1200 attack buff, as well as with her idyllic cadenza state, which she should be in permanently in battle. She's going to give 20% damage and 25% crit damage to allies. In addition to her being able to heal the team as well through her ultimate, Astra Yao has some really strong support capabilities. And not only that, she is also really universal because her additional ability will activate with either any attack character or any anomaly character, meaning that pretty much you can pair any DPS with Astra Yao and then have a third character that can fulfill the other additional abilities for her, which is really good and means that she's going to be an insane value character for honestly a really long time. Now, the reason I put her at number 2 instead of number 1, despite how much we just glazed her, is because I think that in the state of Zenless Zone Zero right now, we do already have a ton of really great support characters. Like, all around, the support characters in Zenless are very good. Astra Yao is on a different level from them, which is, you know, undeniable. But at the same time, I think that because a lot of the other support characters, you know, characters like Lucy, Sokaku, Nicole, they're all still able to work extremely well. And because of that, I feel like while Astra Yao can give you a really nice boost, I feel like if you don't have the character I have at number 1, which I'm sure we all know who it is by now, I feel like they're going to be a much more valuable pull for you if you don't have them. And that character, everyone knows it, it's Miyabi. Miyabi is undoubtedly the best DPS right now, and we are posting this a bit before the 1.6 livestream, so we will see how Silver Soldier Ambi will be once we get that, and once we get some more gameplay and her full kit over the next week or so. Because she is, you know, going to be an upcoming DPS and a new version of a previous character, which if we look at Honkai Star Rail, the new versions of previous characters do tend to be better and are just really good in general. So we could have some high hopes for her, but I think even if just one DPS comes out that is around Miyabi's level, that's not really going to drain the value out of how Miyabi is. Basically, right now in the state of Zenless Zone Zero, Miyabi just trivializes any content you use her in. Even in Shiyu Defense, you know, final stage, I have just consistently, ever since Miyabi came out in 1.4, have just destroyed whatever side that is, which gives me a lot more, you know, wiggle room for the other side in case I have characters that are not as well built or anything like that. Plus for Miyabi, she does synergize well with any support character since any support can activate her additional ability. And also, through that additional ability, any character that can trigger disorder really well with her, like Yanagi, even Burnice is a pretty solid option as well. They're going to perform very well with her just because she's going to be able to get her supercharged basic attack with the, you know, getting the disorders. It's going to help her get it faster. And all in all, as we saw in the story, Miyabi really is her, and I think Hoyoverse wanted us to know that, so they made her super broken. So I think if you don't have Miyabi, she's absolutely the best option, but like I said as well, depending on who you have and who you don't, I can see the argument for Astra Yao because those two, for their respective roles, are just on a different level. So that is everything for my opinions here for what the most valuable rerun banners are. Again, I'd love to hear in the comments down below what you all think, if there's any other characters you guys are looking out for. But with that, I'm going to end it off here. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed and want to see more content from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But with that, everyone, I will see you all next time.